What's going on, people? Um, you're watching What's There to Say. Yeah, so lots happened this week. There's a lot of things that I want to get to, and for this video, I want to speak about the sanctions that have been placed on Chelsea. Or the sanctions that have been placed on Roman Abramovic as a result of his connections to Vladimir Putin, and so I guess I want to address the discussion of whether Chelsea deserve to be going through this at the moment, because obviously, as we all know, there's ongoing war going on as Russia has invaded Ukraine, and obviously Vladimir Putin has been a despised figure among the Western nations, and so now that he's taken the action of invading Ukraine, a lot of the Western nations have taken action against every Russian oligarch, and in this case, that includes the Chelsea owner, Roman Abramovic, and from my understanding, the UK government has taken action into forcing Roman Abramovich to sell his club, and so it's a really serious situation which could affect the club of Chelsea. Like I mentioned at the start, sanctions have been placed on Chelsea. From what I understand, they can't renegotiate contracts for players. So that leads that means that there's going to be a lot of limbo with some Chelsea players, whether they're going to stay or go. Because as a result of this punishment that's been enforced by the UK government along with the UEFA and the EU. So it's really a serious situation. They also can't sell any more tickets, so only Chelsea season ticket holders can go to matches to watch Chelsea. And if there's any tickets that were purchased, that were bought before the 10th of March, if there were any tickets that were bought by any Chelsea fans before then, that's fine. They can be used, but after that, no tickets are allowed to be sold. Period. That's how it works. So and it's crazy. And these sanctions that have been placed on Roman, they've certainly gonna have a massive effect on the working staff at Chelsea, whether it's the catering crew, the waiters, every working employee, the staff. It's gonna have a massive bad impact on their wages, on their livelihoods, and that's just the collateral damage that comes with the territory when it comes to a powerful oligarch like Roman Abramovich being sanctioned by the UK government, Boris Johnson. And so it's just you could argue that it's unfair and that it's too extreme, and you can certainly say that it's a bit of a double standard. But it's the way it is. It's the way it is. An example is being made out of anyone who is in any way connected to Vladimir Putin. That reminds me, I believe another sanction punishment, another sanction rule was that no Chelsea merchandise is to be sold. So as we know, that the club shop with Chelsea is closed for the time being. It's closed until they get a new owner in, which is authorized by the UK government. Yeah, so really, really and truly, it seems like um, Chelsea would have to kind of you know they're going to be in a very unstable state for the meantime until they get a new owner, and for their sake, hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. And yeah, it's just it's not a good situation because when Roman sells, which he will have to. I believe he cares about the club too much to not compromise them in any way. But when Roman leaves, I think the woman who works for him, Marina, she'll probably leave as well, and she has been a good executive at the club, making those deals. Some of them, haven't worked out, but for the most part, she is very good at what she does in terms of sorting out contracts, and so because she's been the long time collaborator of working under Roman Abramovic, she'll probably leave, and so then this it creates uncertainty about Thomas Tuchel as well, whether he will stay. I mean, he's spoken publicly about the situation, about the rumours that apparently Man United are wanting him as manager for next season. I don't think that will happen, personally speaking, but he's made it clear that he's happy at Chelsea and that he wants to push through despite what's going on. And so yeah, and truly it's not gonna from what I know so far, what we know so far, different bids have come in for the new ownership of Chelsea from the Saudis, from the Americans, and like I said before, this situation with the sanctions being placed on Roman, who already was barred from coming in back into this country. That was before this this Ukraine-Russian conflict kicked off. But now obviously it's increased with Putin invading the Ukraine. It's obviously now increased, and the UK government has decided to make a response along with the EU to punish any assets that's connected to Russia, including Chelsea, who's owned by Roman. So yeah, I said earlier before that it's a bit of a double standard because there's been other owners, whether they're from the Middle East or American, who've funded shady businesses, who funded campaigns which abuse human rights. So really and truly, this is just typical virtue signaling. Quite frankly, it's typical virtue signaling, and Roman isn't the only owner who has skeletons in his closet. You can take a look at the owners of Newcastle United and Man City. Quite frankly, I'm sure they've had they have their own skeletons, but that won't be looked into because it's not convenient. Because they got oil, because they have oil, but I won't vary too much into that because I'm gonna keep it a bit sports focused here. So so the point I'm trying to make is, it's just convenient double standard, quite frankly, and because Putin is a despised figure among the West, it's easier to go against him than it is to go against, other countries. And, with Roman Abramovich, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, from what it feels, because I can tell that Roman has done a lot of good things for Chelsea. In the last 15 years, they've won 21 trophies. So clearly, he's he has done his best to focus on the club and make sure that Chelsea succeeds. Um, so that I will say, and that's me just speaking about him as a football owner. Period. Nothing else. And so yeah, it's sad that it's gonna end like this for Chelsea fans in terms of Roman's ownership of Chelsea, but it was bound to happen. Um, you can't always separate sports from politics. Unfortunately, I know that's the ideal thing to do, that's not always possible. It's not always possible, and so yeah, I think a bid should be accepted soon for the new ownership of Chelsea Football Club. We'll see what happens, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Take care. I hope I've been loud and clear for you. Take care. God bless.